There you have it, folks. There you have it, folks. Finally, finally, after 2 whole years and so many fans wondering, where is my sequel? Finally, it's right there. Bocchi the Rock Season 2 has finally been announced. It has been such a long, long wait, and it seems like there's a main key reason why it's been such a long wait. As that, yes, a lot of people seeing this announcement are immediately gravitating to a certain little bit down here where they're changing directors. Down here on the official website, we do have some messages by the actual directors themselves. I say directors because we have the old director and now the new director. But yeah, Keiichiro Saito, who of course, for those that don't know, was the director behind the first season. And he put a lot of extra care into that first season. And a lot of people love that director and they want to see him return for the second season. But unfortunately, yes, it does look like the director is changing for season 2. But Keiichiro Saito, the director of Season 1, says congratulations on the announcement of second season of Bocchi the Rock. This time, I am handing the baton off to director Yusuke Yamamoto. I am so happy that we were able to make this announcement in front of everyone, as I know that many people have been asking for a second season since the anime ended, and that many people have been working hard to make it happen. I trust that Yamamoto will create a very funny, cute, wow, I said it in the translation, funny, cute, and exciting anime, and I really look forward to it. Bocchi the Rock, the fun continues. It's very unfortunate. Again, like I said before, he is technically passing on the baton. There is some additional information around this, which we'll get into in a minute. But Yamamoto says it may be a bit early to make this announcement here, but I decided to announce it today because I want to deliver the news directly to as many fans as possible. I'm happy to be able to enjoy again with the Keiichiro band. As a new Bocchi the Rock production team, please give us your warm support. And yeah, like I said before, there is a little bit more additional information behind this because, again, I think there's a lot of people that are going to be a little bit upset about this changeover. Yes, there's a lot of people that love Bocchi the Rock just because they love Bocchi. They love the band. They love the actual characters themselves. They love the story that it's telling. That is all they really need. Just give me more of that. Give me more of my band girls having fun, getting into shenanigans. And yes, Bocchi over there having an anxiety attack. We're all just loving this show and laughing and going along with it, all while this poor girl has an anxiety attack. But no, there's a lot of people that they loved Bocchi the Rock Season 1 because of the actual directing that was being done with it. For those that don't know, there was a lot in Season 1 that was original to the actual director. Like, he put a lot of effort into creating, like, these weird little side projects that he was working on. Like, while they're animating the show over here, he's literally creating some weird, crazy gimmick thing that he's going to end up putting into this one frame and this one shot of the show, and it's just super creative. Like, he just went, like, above and beyond to make something special here. And it wasn't that he was just making trinkets and whatnot to throw into the show. He was actually conveying the actual emotion of the character in the moment. Like, if the character's having some sort of problem, he creates some really cool thing out of it. And it was just something you don't really see anywhere else. And so, like I said before, there's going to be a lot of people that loved it for that extra passion. They're going to be a little upset that they're not going to have that with this next season. Now, that's not to say that Yamamoto can't do something really creative with it. It's just that's the concern that a lot of people have, is that loss of that. Now, they did have like a radio broadcast thing where they had, you know, the voice actress and they had Keiichiro Saito on there and other people. Yamamoto was on there. They had several people on this broadcast basically addressing the big elephant in the room. I mean, if you have the Season 1 director in a radio broadcast about Season 2, there's a reason. Essentially, Keiichiro went on there with the express intent to tell people his story, to tell people why he's not going to be there. And it really does come down to this idea that, yes, when he originally made the first season, he made it with a lot of passion. He really enjoyed it. And yes, it really did feel like the Season 1's end was comfortable for him. He liked where it kind of ended. But additionally, it got into, yes, he was approached for a second season. They wanted him to work on another season. They're like, hey, we want to do a Season 2. Everybody's loving it. Let's keep going. And he didn't want to. And there's several things in here, some things that are kind of vaguely put for obvious reasons, and other things that are kind of very not so obvious. Yes, one of the main key things that kind of popped out to me through the translation that I got was that, yeah, he didn't really kind of feel like he should be there. That he feels like he overworked the staff and whatnot for the first season. He had a lot of passion for it, he put a lot of work into it, and he was kind of pushing the team way too far, and he regrets it. Like, okay, and you see that with the idea that he was making these weird dioramas and stuff like that on the side, and wanting to do this with this thing and doing. He got very creative, and unfortunately, with a lot of works, being extremely creative often makes a lot of work for other people. And it seems like he's expressing that that's what happened, that he regrets that. That was pushing a lot of people. I didn't know how to limit myself, and that kind of put a lot of work on other people. And that going into the second season, he sort of talks about the idea that, yeah, there might be a lot more performances in second season. And so him being there wouldn't be a very good fit. That, yeah, a lot of the stuff that he'd want to do would probably put a lot more work on people. And there's a lot of stuff that they have to work on with that second season. And I can see that. If there's going to be a lot more performances, there's going to be a lot more animation. That's going to take a lot more work. And so I can see for him as a very creative, a lot of that stuff is just going to make things bloated. It's going to take too much time. And so he's probably not a good fit there. So yeah, when he was questioned about this, he didn't really want to go with the second season. And then that came down to him going, I want a second season to happen. And so yes, he kind of worked with them to find Yamamoto. So this is definitely kind of a situation of passing the baton. Like he said in his quote, I'm passing the baton off to Yamamoto. I kind of figured that this would be a good fit for it. Again, like I said before, I have nothing against Yamamoto, and I don't think people should immediately kind of shut this whole thing down just because it's not Saito. I think Yamamoto could possibly do a better job. We don't know. We won't know until it actually comes out to see what this person can actually do with the actual property and what kind of freedom they're given with creativity. Because in a lot of cases, that's really what it comes down to. It's, in some cases, how much freedom they're given. In some cases, you can have directors that don't really do anything great with a show because they're not really allowed to do anything. Where it does feel like Saito with Bocchi the Rock Season 1 was given a lot of freedom there, and he did a lot of really crazy stuff with it. Now, the other stuff that was kind of, again, like I said before, hinted at with this radio broadcast was the elephant in the room, the other elephant in the room, I already talked about the elephant in the room, which is, why isn't he there? The other elephant in the room, which is, yeah, Keiichiro Saito is probably working on something else. He does hint at a little bit that, yes, he does have something else that he's working on, something that has not been announced, and that's something that he can't confirm nor deny that he's involved with. And so, yeah, that's something else that's probably causing a little bit of a conflict there, that he can't work on Bocchi the Rock Season 2 because he's got something else that's really big that he's already kind of locked into. And yes, Frieren Season 2. And again, it's not announced yet that he's directing it. It's just a lot of people are assuming that he's probably directing it, and he just can't really talk about it. So there's a little bit of a conflict there that, yes, he's struggling with that. Again, he likes Bocchi the Rock. It's not that he's choosing to do Frieren because, again, he's not saying Frieren. I want to express that. He's not talking about Frieren. He is, but he's not talking about Frieren. There's a struggle there that he's obviously running into that he's going to be, pulled back and forth on that. And this is ultimately what he came down to, is choosing one route over the other. The translation was basically, speaking of which, well, there's one thing I want to say. I never, after Bocchi the Rock, took on the role of director for a certain, well, you could tell by the, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But I never compared it to that or put it on a scale. That's not how it was at all. As for the other project, we haven't officially announced how I'll be involved yet, so there's not much I can say. But within myself, it's never been about choosing work based on balance between that and something else. I really want everyone to understand that. It's a very personal feeling. It's absolutely not about power dynamics with Aniplex or anything like that. It's purely creative. It's kind of like this aspect of, again, it feels like he's almost struggling with that choice, and that he doesn't want people to kind of take the wrong impression here. There's not like a power dynamic between companies or anything like that. This is just something that he's chosen creatively. Again, these are kind of like very loose translations here using basically the transcript and AI. So take some of this stuff with a grain of salt. But that's kind of the feeling that I got. And some other translations kind of echoed that. That, yes, he had struggles with actually producing the show itself, mainly in the idea that he couldn't tell himself to stop. He was causing a lot of work for other people, and that caused stress for them. He regrets that. Again, with the second season, it does seem like there's going to be a lot more performances. He feels like his touch in there is only going to cause problems for people, so it's best to kind of hand the baton off. He was asked several times to do season 2, but he rejected them. And yes, he's hinted at several times throughout the interview that he has something else that he is working on. He can't say anything about it, and we're all assuming it's for in season 2. But again, in the end, it does suck. It does suck because I know a lot of the reasons why people love Bocchi the Rock, a good portion of the fandom of Bocchi the Rock loved it because of how like over the top bonkers creative it was, how much passion was put into it. And a lot of that has to do with Saito. And to have that kind of passed on to somebody else is going to upset a lot of people. But in the end of the day, I think a majority of the fans probably don't even know who Saito is. That's the thing to kind of keep in mind, is that I think most fans probably don't even know who the director is. They just love Bocchi the Rock. They just love the story. They just love the characters. And I think with Yamamoto, it's going to be just fine. I think in the end, with a new director, most fans are going to not even notice a difference. It's just going to be those people that love that creative, goofy stuff that was happening during the show. Wow, why the hell is it suddenly, a camera is shooting at some random thing of, cutout characters dancing around? That was Saito. And so to have that kind of loss there, it's going to upset some people. But in the end, we got a second season. In the end, can we just celebrate that we got a second season? We can all be happy that we just at least get more Bocchi. And I think, again, in the end, I think it's going to be fantastic. It's still going to be Cloverworks, so we're going to still have the same studio. Most all the other team members still the same. We still have the same script writer. So everything's still going to kind of run the same. It's still the same manga being adapted. So in the end, I think it's going to be fantastic, and I'm super excited for it. So anyhow, that's the news. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment. Let me know what you think about the director switching over. Are you happy? Are you okay? You're like, whatever, shrug. More Bocchi the Rock, I don't care. Let me know. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you got my content. If you like this content and want to support the channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. Until next time, y'all take care.